everyone, and welcome to my channel, Handmade by Ying with Donna. Today is September the 5th, and it's 12 o'clock p.m. on a beautiful Tuesday. And I wanted to take a second and welcome you all to this live. This is strictly going to be a Project Dress a Girl live today, and we're going to do a giveaway about 1 o'clock maybe. We'll get it started at some point. But I want to thank each and every one of you for taking your time and joining me today. Quilting Mama 6438. Yes, I got your email, Donnell. I didn't realize they were two of the same. So yes, I did respond, and I will talk about that during the live. So if there's any more information that you would need, please let me know, and I can just talk about it while I'm sewing. Linda Faust, hi Donna and Joe and everyone. Quilting Mama is telling everyone hello. I resent, yes, and I gave you my personal email so we can correspond that way as well. Susie, Jersey girl, welcome, sweetheart, and thank you for being my moderator today. Let me see, Cat Gallery, good morning, everyone. And here we go, let the fun begin. So with all of that being said, I'm working with a fabric that I've never worked with before, but one of my subscribers became a little bit ill and could not finish her project in her commitment to Project Dress a Girl. So she mailed me her fabric, and for that I'm very blessed and thankful. So I'm going to use today and work with this fabric and see what I can come up with. Happy Tuesday morning all. Tomorrow is my birthday, so having Donna sew my dress for me is all the gift I need. Thanks, sweet Donna. I am doing your dress today. I've got two cut out. I think I'll get through one for sure, but the other one I'll do at some point today as well. And I won't see you tomorrow, Miss Jane, but happy birthday from Joe and I to you. Thank you for sending your fabric along, and we humbly appreciate it. Now, as far as the scrunchies, anybody that wishes to donate those, Donnell, I sent you an email. Basically, it's just little girl scrunchies, whatever you can come up with. All of the dresses that we as a channel are donating to Project Dress a Girl is all flowered stripes. There's a wide variety. So if you want to make them and send them, feel free. You can do them any old color you would like, a solid, a blend, and I'll do my best as they come in to stuff them into the pockets of these dresses for these little girls. Sorry, I'm rubbing my hands, but I just put a lot of lotion on them because my hands are really drying out from working with all of the fabric. So with that being said, the fabric that I'll be using today is called Seersucker. I've never worked with it before. It is very, how I want to put it, I've starched the dickens out of it. It's see-through, so she was amazing, Miss Jane was, to go ahead and include muslin that's going to go with the dresses. So with that being said, I've got all four of my parts cut out, and I'll have Joe come down to the table. It starts out like this. This would be your piece 4 of the pattern. So what I do is I've got them broke down into little segments so that I'll be able to do 2 things at once as I'm working this along. Hello, Miss Pat Strawhouse is in the house. Thank you, ladies. So there's no confusion. We have Project Dress a Girl under Mitered-Jesus. Then we've also got Project Dress a Girl around the world. There is a difference. So just know that there is a difference. So our dresses will be going to Gaithersburg, Maryland for Project Dress a Girl under Mitered-Jesus. So you'll see our video footage coming out as well. But basically what you're going to do is I've got these set up and ready to go, and I can only show you the folding of it here on the table because I can't bring you to my ironing station. What you're going to do first, you will not need the muslin because this is going to turn into your straps. You're going to just go straight down the center, and we're going to press it and fold it in. So I'm going to do that off camera over here, but I am going to starch this. I didn't know if he's got the best camera angles, I'm telling you. I wasn't sure if he'd be able to pick it up, so I made sure I did some a little sooner. I do use Mary Ellen's Best Press on anything that I'm not sure, and I want my fabric to be a little bit stiffer. So I'll finger press this just to give myself a really nice crease along the way. So I'll give it a little bit of heat, love. Turn up my iron just a little bit because I want it to be good and toasty. And put that first crease in. Then what you're going to do is open this up and you're going to have your crease line. You're going to bring the back section up to the crease line and finger press that in. Then you're going to bring your bottom section in and finger press that. Then you're just going to lay your hot iron on it and work your way up. This will not scorch the fabric. My iron's warm enough that I'll be able to move it right along as I'm folding, and it's not going to damage the fabric at all. So I'm just going to keep going. And right now you're just bringing it to the center and matching your seam. This is going to give you a straight line and you're not going to have any wobble in it. That's the goal. So we're just going to do this, and then now we're going to come back to the other end, and now you're going to fold it one more time in on itself. And yes, I will leave that sit there for just a minute. The more heat it gets, it'll stay in place. Good morning, everyone, from Teresa Louise. Thank you for joining us today, Teresa Louise. I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone that hops in. This is a project that's near and dear to my heart, and I want to make sure that we do as many dresses as we can along the way to give back. So that I normally would pin, but that's going to be my first piece. So I'll go ahead and get the second strap ready to go. Go ahead and give it a little bit of starch. You don't have to. Even water would make it just lay as flat as possible. I like the starch because it seems to help me lay these really flat. So we're going to fold it in on itself. Give it a little finger press and lay the heat on it. We're going to come up and do the same all the way along the way. And we're going to repeat, and you're going to make 2 straps per dress that you're doing. And like I said, I've never worked with this fabric before, so today it's going to be a twofold. We're both going to learn together. I believe it's doable, and we can do this together. So now I'm going to fold them in on themselves again. Fold it straight to the center line. It's kind of like making your own bias. And you're just going to lay it in on itself. Stay true to your line right here. And continue all the way up the strap. Now we're going to fold it one more time in on itself. And I'm going to let the heat, it's kind of like a little glue with it being starched. It's a little damp, but it's going to help hold it down and hold it in place. We're going to do all 4 straps because I have 2 dresses cut from this fabric. So we're just going to do the odd pieces all at once, and then we'll work with the bigger sections. So give me just a second. In hindsight, maybe not such a great idea as for making rework. It's okay. It's okay. So let me get my machine turned on. No matter what, it's here and it's going to work. Seersucker is so stinking soft, but starching definitely would help with your sew. I had such a large piece. I was thinking I could make lots of dresses with it. There's going to be dresses made with it as well as some scrunchies for other dresses. So what you're going to do is let your machine unthread because I didn't pull my thread out enough. So let me take that out from under the needle and rethread. Thank goodness for a large-eyed needle, I'm telling you. So it's rethreaded. Now we're going to come up this side right here, just at the edge of your foot. And then when we do this, we're going to do all 4 pieces. Then I'll flip them and we're going to come down the other side. So this is going to take just about maybe 2 or 3 minutes, but we're going to be able to do it. The easiest way that I found is I use my fingers as my guide, and I do not go really fast here. I just want to eyeball and keep right on the edge of my presser foot. And just let the machine do the work. I wanted to make sure I had everything lining up good. So let me see. I want to make sure. Good morning, Teresa Louise, and thank you so much. You guys are all amazing. So we're just going to go slow, and we're going to do all 4 straps at one sitting. That way I can stay on task and see if we can get both dresses done today. No promises, but I'll be glad to get one done. It's double the work when you're using seersucker fabric, because you have to make sure that these dresses are not see-through in any way. So you double cut everything, and then my Sew It Seams group and we've talked a little bit, and I'm going to try something I've never done before, and it's either going to be a win or a fail, you know, but I am going to try to tack the muslin to the seersucker prior to working all of the large pieces. And we're going to see if that's going to work. And that is how we're going to do this today. And it's got a lot of strings to it. So you got to make sure that they do not get caught up in your machine. Get those up in there. And remember, slow and steady on these straps, because you wouldn't want to put a girl in an all jacked up strap. So just take your time. And then I won't even need to cut that. I'm just going to pull these down, and we're going to come up the back side of it. Then these will be done and ready for use when we're ready for them. As soon as I get the straps made, I'll check the chat. I just want to get through making the straps. I've got my top thread and my bobbin thread matching so that it'll blend well with the dress. I went with a soft dove. I think that'll look really pretty with this sky blue pinstripe. Make sure your strap, since this one is still hooked, I can unhook it so it'll be done here at the end. And it's okay if it wobbles at the end, because you're going to knot those off when we're finished. Make sure you're flipping it. Make sure it's lined up, and just keep going. I like to hold my fingers tight so that it's not going to shift. So as you can see, I keep one here and one here, and then I still hold it here so it all stays right next to the foot. My thread broke right there. My bobbin thread. So I'll have to fix that before we move forward. So give me just a second. I'm separating my pieces. That's twice this bobbin has done that. So I'm just going to change bobbins so I can move forward without the continuous bobbin breaks. Just it. Just a second. Always got to do the tension check, you know. Hey, Janine, welcome. Good morning. Let me see. I'm trying to catch the chat while I'm doing this bobbin change out. Quilty friends, quilty friends. I love Donna's shirt. It's so cute. Thank you. Mr. Joe takes good care of me and gives me the coolest shirts. Okay, so now let me see if it's going to break again. Make sure I've got the problem corrected. I pre-wound some bobbins, so I want to make sure that I've got this trimmed down to right where it was starting to give a fit. So it's right here. So we'll come back under and give it a go. Check it. One more second. I want to tighten that bobbin down just a little bit. Sandra, hello, sweetie. Good afternoon from lovely day in Florida. It's so nice to be able to join you again, Donna and Joe. Susie Gabbard, I don't know why the cats are so excited. I have 4 running to the sound like a stampede. I think I've got it. Sorry for the delay, but I need this to work right so I'm not continually going back and forth with it. Do a test piece and then we'll see. Broke again, Joseph. My bobbin keeps breaking. I might have it too tight. Yep. When you're switching from FPP back to traditional piecing, trust me, there's adjustments that need made, and I neglected to do them prior to the live. So thanks for bearing with me. Do what? Yeah. He goes, they enjoy watching you play with your machine. Now we'll see if I got it. Now it looks good. Let me get back over here, make sure what this looks like. It broke right there. It would not be alive unless something went wrong. Okay, so now I have these done. And I'm just going to separate these now and set these aside. Hello, Crossover. How's it going? Crossover Paranormal. Hello. Hello, hello. And welcome. Melina, hello, sweetie. And welcome. So just trim off your ends because these will end up being knotted in the end. So just take a second now where your threads are and just go ahead and trim those off. Do the same here on both sides. Next, we're going to do part 3, which is the pocket. So I've already got one pocket pre-done and one pocket ready to go. So these are already pressed. Your pocket piece you're just going to cut out. We're going to totally make one pocket and then I'll edge out the other pocket and we'll get it made as well. So all you're going to do is go around your presser foot. That's going to be your guide. And then you're just going to go all the way around. It does not have to be perfect. And lock in. This one and this one. This has your label, so you're going to want to sew it face down. You've folded your top down. And you're going to make it the same width of what your presser foot is. That way there's no room for error and you're going to get the consistency with your machine. We're going to do the same thing here. And we're just going to sew straight down. All you're doing right now is putting the hem in the pocket. It's already cut. Now you're going to put these two bellies together. That way your tag is on the inside. You're going to back tack here and you're going to back tack at the end. It's so much easier when you put your labels on as you're doing your pockets, but it can be added at the end. I'm going to pull these off. I'll shut my machine off so that I can show you what I'm doing. I'm not sure how clear you're going to be able to see what I'm doing, but it's really jaggedy. So the easiest way to do is trim as close to that line all the way around without getting it all your seams cut. Let me see. Lily S. Sorry, newbie question. How do you wind your bobbin too tight? Wait a minute. Don't you use a machine to wind it and it only has one setting? Am I missing something? I've got pre-wound bobbins that I'm used to and I'm learning how to wind with my machine. I'm new with the Juki and yeah, it can wind it too tight depending upon the setting of it. And if I don't have my dial adjusted correctly, the screw on the tension of the bobbin for the different bobbin changes, if I'm using a pre-wound, it can be a little bit looser. I always check if I'm starting to get the breaks, it means I need to adjust the tension on my bobbin. Okay, if that makes sense. I hope that answers you well. Then you're going to trim around this one as well. And I just get as close to the seam as possible. So let me see. Let me see, where am I at in the chats? Crossover, I'm good. I've got the day off, so I'm catching up on YouTube videos. And welcome, I'm glad you could be here. Lily, yes, depends on the machine you have. You can adjust the winding tension. Also refer to the manual book. It is computerized, then something different. You need to contact your dealer to ask. Thank you. Heading out, I'll be back later. Janine, thanks for hopping in. So trim off all of your strings, and you're still going to press your block flat. That way, when you adhere this to the dress here in just a minute, you understand why it needs to be really, really flat. Just finger press it all the way around, and that's going to give you a nice fitting. And then, as you can see, the label is attached to the dress. And just give it the heat love it needs. Now this go round, I'm going to be doing the fronts of the dresses. So I'm going to hook the pockets before I do any more with the dresses. Normally I would not, but this time I need to. So these pockets are pretty close, and these pockets are at an angle. So these for the dress I will put at an angle because it's a left and a right the way that it was cut. So we'll lay these down, move those out of the way. Now I'll be able to show you what I'm doing here. This is part A, and this is part B of the dress. And yes, it makes a difference. They look identical. And really, you could technically cut 4 of the same and come up. But this is your B section, so that your B is your back. I just wanted to double check myself. Before I do any more, I'm going to adhere my pockets. Since I've pressed this a lot, I don't have my seam here to go by. So what I will do is I'm going to eyeball where the seam should be, and it should be here. And I'm going to make sure that I come up 10 inches when I put the pockets in. So one pocket's going to go here. And I'm going to pin it in place. Then I'm going to come right over here, about the same width, and I'm just estimating, but I am doing the 10 inches up. And then we're going to wiggle these in and measure from the sides because we want these to be right. If I had my seam and not pressed out, it would be so easy to get it in. So I've got 4 1/4 inches there. And this one needs to come over just a smidge. So I'll see how much room I've got here. So it's just kind of like a little eyeball game. Now, since we're adhering the muslin to it at the same time, what I'm going to do is pin these in place so that they do not slide at all. I don't want the muslin to slide on this fabric. So I am really going to pin heavily. Normally, you would not need to. And like I said, this is my first go around with working with the muslin, and I really want it to look nice. Multi-stitcher, you may have already provided the information, but I'm new here and want to learn how this works. Do you only do the dresses in September, or is it year-round that they're given out in September? Multi-stitcher, I have my channel, and what we do is collect all year long. But in the month of September, we work very, very hard to really push out Project Dress a Girl. Any dresses that are submitted to our channel will go to Mirror to Jesus, Marty Sews, and she will get them into the hands of where they need to go. And that's just what we do. Anyone that wishes to donate to Project Dress a Girl, please feel free. Our P.O. box is in the description box below this video, as well as one of my moderators can also drop it in the chat. And anyone that donates anything for Project Dress a Girl, we humbly appreciate. So if that didn't answer, please let me know. So what I'm doing with this is both pieces has been heavily starched, and I'm going to go around the edging just so that I'm tacking the dress two pieces together first. And let's get stitching. And I'm going to use my presser foot as my guide. And as I said, I've never done this kind of sewing before, so this is new to me on how we're going to adhere this. And then you're just going to tack it in place, basically. Now I'm a little bit off here because I can see under the dress where it's a little bit off with the cut, and I'll straighten that up before we move forward with it. But for right now, I'm just getting as straight a line as I can, because I need to join these two pieces of fabric together. And I probably overpinned, but I did not want any shifting. Making sure that it's all picking up. And I'm going to go around the arms as well, but I'm going to go real scant because we're going to be putting some bias tape in just a few minutes. They're collecting September, but you can work on them all year. Absolutely true, Louise. Karen, hello. Judy Thorpe, hello. Donna from Kentucky. Multi-stitcher, thank you. Project Dress a Girl, absolutely. Sorry if I'm missing anything in the chat, but I'm really trying to focus on this fabric to make sure that this dress comes out really nice. So we got the first piece adhered together. Now I'm going to get the pocket and tack it in place. It's a lot easier to do it before the dress is actually coming together. So just make sure you back tack in. Imagine putting your hands in and out of the pocket. You're going to want that tacked in there really nice. And you're just going to come around and back tack it in here. Then we're going to do the next pocket. That way these are in place and then I don't have to worry about them. And then we'll go to the next step. Then back tack it in place. Snip and snip. Now I'm going to pull it over here and get any loose threads off. You don't want those hanging out. So we're just going to get them off. And I'll do the same over here. And where it started. So you can see the outline of the pocket. Now we're going to start pulling the pins. And this, putting the pockets on now, is going to help hold all of the fabric together. And as you can see, the stripes are going up, but the pockets are going this way. Give it a little bit of dimension with this dress. Pull any pins that you still have in, because now you don't need them yet. So I can set that aside. I have one more pin there. Make sure I got these out of the way. So now what I'm going to do with this piece is really simple. You can eyeball it or you can really work with it. Donna, what size are you making? It looks like it's for an older girl and it seems like there are so many smaller ones. This is going to finish at a 6'7". Let me look in the chat real quick because I'm missing so many and I'm sorry. Liz, hello everyone. Karen, hello. Moderators, thank you for handling the chat for me today so I could focus on the dress. Beverly Atkins, hey Donna, and everyone in the chat, Multi Stitcher, hello Susie, guess who, Nancy, Julie, watching on TV while doing dishes and cleaning, just popping in to say hello. Hello Julie, we love you to pieces. Karen Burnett, let me see, Susie Gabbert, guess who, Nancy, the girls are handling the chats, and let me see, Beverly Atkins. So now that I've got this part, what we're going to do, because you're going to need this, is you're going to fold this down. But before we do that, we're going to take these and we're going to add our bias tape. I picked the lighter blue for the bias tape for this dress. And then the next one will have a darker one. This comes in really handy working around those armpit areas. And then you can also use it on your hem if you would like. So I believe there'll be enough. So let's see. So let me just get it unwound. Throw that out of the way. So all we're going to do is put this in. And I'm not worried about this raw edge because it's going to be hidden under all of the magic. So all you're going to do is lay this in and make sure that your fabric is butted up against it. That does make a difference. And then this is stretchy, so it's going to move along with you as you're hooking this in. So you're just going to come really easy. This is not hard. And I just got it to where it's going to start. And I'm going to go really slow because you want to make sure you're catching both sides. And as the machine's pulling it through, you're just going to be laying this down, keeping your fingers out of the way. But as the machine's doing the work for you, you're getting the armhole in. And all you're going to do is slow and steady and keep the same pace right there. And we're going to cut this here because all of this is going to be hidden away in just a few minutes. Get my scissors. So I'm going to cut this at a little bit of an angle. Then I'm going to come over on this side and I'm going to repeat the same process. Just line it up and fold it in. It doesn't matter if you start at the top or you start at the bottom. I like to pinch it if I'm not pinning it in place. Snip it off. So now you've got your shoulders done, your armholes per se. Got a few strings here I will snip off. And before I ever submit a dress, I make sure I go over them, whether they've been mailed in or I've made them. And we snip all the threads. The little girls aren't going to be able to do that. So now I'm going to lay this down and I'm going to give it the fold right here that it needs. And you're going to eyeball it about 1/4 of an inch and you're going to press it. And like I said, you're just going to eyeball and then you're going to come down one more fold. And I like to make sure that I've got a decent amount. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the center and I'm going to pin it because I don't want it to slide on me. And I want enough room there that I'm going to be able to work with. Normally I would eyeball, but if I'm showing you the right way, I need to do it the right way. I've got 1 inch. So let's get it consistent all the way across, and it is. So I'm just going to clip it right there. And I'm going to come over here and make sure that I'm staying consistent with the 1 inch. That's going to make it really easy all the way along when we get ready to put the tacks in and we're pulling the straps through. So now as soon as I get this done, the hardest part of this dress will be done. And then I will just have to tack the other side. And I keep my presser foot on this side. That way I'm getting consistency. And back tack it in. Snip your threads. And look how nice that looks all the way across. I think it looks pretty cool. That does not look like I back tacked right here. And I really want to make sure that that's going to stay in because a lot of pressure is going to go right there. So I'm just going to tack it in real quick. So this part of the dress is now complete. So we've got the pockets, we've got it all joined, and we have our shoulder pieces in. So I'll lay this aside and we're going to work with the next part. And we're just basically going to repeat. So let me slip into the chat real quick and see if I'm missing anyone. Beverly Atkins, Susie Gabbard, Quitting Mama, Project Dress a Girl. Thank you, Teresa Louise, for helping out with the chat today, and Susie. So now we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to go all the way around on this one. Remember, there won't be any pockets here to help tack this in. So we're just going to go all the way around. Maybe it's overkill around the shoulder areas because once I put that bias tape around the shoulders to where the armpit holes are, but I'd rather just go ahead and do it all in one sitting. So we're just going to go slow, go all the way around it, and repeat the same thing we did on the front. I could sew off, but I didn't. That to quit jumping over at me. And like I said, it's really scant what you're putting in here. It's just basically just to hold the fabric together while we're building the dress. We don't have the hem in yet. We'll do that in just a little bit. Sorry, I can't sew and do this edging at the same time. So bear with me just a minute. So you're going to snip off all your threads. Just keep remembering, snip those threads away. Now we're going to take out all of the pins because they're no longer needed. And I keep stabbing myself with them. Flip me anytime. And you thinking the blues is so pretty. I think so too. I've got to stop. I stabbed myself pretty good that time. See if I got any band-aids up here. Hubby knows me when he starts leaving me band-aids. Sorry, guys. I just don't want to ruin a dress. So I'll take a second and bandage myself up. Pardon me? Yeah, I do. He's telling me I don't need to apologize for bleeding. Okay. Joe goes, I'm sure everybody else has stabbed themselves a time or two. He needs to mic up if he's going to be over there because I can't half hear him. So now we've got all of this hooked in all the way around. So now we're going to do the shoulders. We're going to repeat the same thing that we've done on the front. And we're just going to wiggle it in and get these in. And make sure that you're not pulling it. Just let the machine do the work. That way you're going to have that consistency. Pinch it in just like we have before. And we're just going to roll it in. And all the fabric is really stretchy, so it'll move really easy. And as you can see, we've got tons and tons of strings all over. So let me snip these strings because they will drive me silly. So we're going to flip this back over here and repeat the same thing. We're going to get the 1/4 of an inch, then we're going to go down 1 inch. So I'm just going to fold down, eyeball the 1/4 of an inch, and press it in. That's going to help hold it. Got some strings here. Then now we're going to do the 1 inch. And make sure that you're staying consistent. I'm telling you, pins are overrated when you stick yourself 1,000,000 times. So now we'll back tack it in. That way it's going to help hold it. Because like I said, there'll be a lot of pressure on these strap areas. Snip all those little threads. Move all of these little strings off. Now you can do your hem now, which is what I'm going to do, because I believe I have more than enough fabric left to do it. So we're going to make sure both dresses are at the same length. Because when you cut, things shift. I want to line it up. That is right. Because after we get the hem in, we'll do the French seam and we'll be able to do this pocket. So I'm a wee little bit off here. So what I'm going to do is now's the time to make sure that this is consistent, because you don't want to have problems when you're lining your dress up. So this is a little cheat, but it works every time. Make sure your top, all 4 are lined up. Just swipe it down, because we're going to be putting the bias on the hem. I'm going to bring this over And I am going to just line this up. I want to make sure that I am lined up right on a seam, so I'm straight. As you can see, it's like a scant quarter-inch. So what I'm going to take off is just a little dab at the bottom. So I'll probably go 1/2 inch. That way it's all going to be lined up really nice. So that little bit now is not going to matter. So we're going to take this one and we're going to get this in place. And it's going to be an easy, that's not going to fray, that's not going to do anything. And it's just going to blend in with the dress really nice. I'm not going to back tack it because we're going to do a French seam here in a few minutes. You can hem the dresses, but I like to go ahead. One of my subscribers mailed me all of this bias tape, and I think it gives a really nice finish for the little girls. So I'm just opting to go ahead and use it up. And just sew straight off. Now look how pretty that's going to make with this dress. Do the same thing here. You have 3 yards. If you have 3 yards for a size 6 dress, you'll have enough to do this around the arms and the hem. And I like to get as much of the, I call it grunt work, out of the way before I put the dress together. Anything that we can get done ahead. So I like to cut the dresses and put them in stacks. I can cut 3 or 4 dresses at one time. 6 if it's a busy day. I can just go ahead and knock them out, and then I put them in their stacks. I'll use one day and make the straps one day and do the binding of the pockets, getting the names on and the labels. So it's just like an assembly line. It normally doesn't take this long, but I've never worked with this fabric, so I'm being extra diligent. And as you can see, this does fray a lot, so you've got to keep all of it trimmed up. So now we're gonna do a French seam. So you're gonna lay your pieces together just as if you were marrying the dress. And what I like to do is I will stick a couple pins in. As much as I hate to pin, I don't want them to shift. So I'm just going to go straight down the center, and I'll go here at the bottom, and then I'll go one in the center, because as you're sewing those along, I'll better do an extra one. I normally do just the 4, or I'll run it through my serger, but a lot of people don't have the serger, so I'm going to do it this way. So now we're going to do the French seam. Let me move all of this out of the way. All you're going to do is, you've got your top made. You're just going to come down both of these sides. Then we're going to flip the dress inside out. And that's where the magic will happen. So you're going to need to do, to make this work, you're going to come to your line at 3. I go 1/2 inch, but the directions say 3/4 of an inch. So do what works best for you. I know what works best for me when I'm doing the French. So that's just the way that I choose to do it. Directions say 3/4. And I'm a rebel and I do the 1/2 because I want them to have that extra little bit of the dress for some wiggle room. And you can tell you're sewing 4 pieces of fabric together here, I'll tell you. The end result's going to be really pretty though. Back tack it in. And trim it off. Make sure you're getting all these threads. Now we're going to do the same up here. We've got all these strings. Try your best to keep all those strings off of there. Shake it and make sure that it's consistent with up here because you want these to match. So I'm going to pin this one in place so it doesn't shift. And then I'm going to let the fabric do the pulling. And it's okay if your seam's a little crooked here. It's going to be lost in a minute. So now we're going to take the pins out. I know it seems like a lot of work for a dress, but look how cute it's coming. So let me move this out of the way. Now we're going to turn it inside out. And you're going to want to get rid of all of these little strings. They're of no use. And as you can see, you cannot see a seam there. Now, how cool is that, right? But you got to put your fingers on the back side of this and feel for where that seam is. So what I like to do is roll it. I'll roll this seam and make it flat. And then I'll press it. Then I know I've got the consistency that I need to come down this seam. I'm going to come right here. That seam is going to end up locked and I'm not going to lose anything. I will put a couple clips in because I want it to stay in place, but you do not have to. And we're going to do the same thing on this side of the dress. You're going to roll the seam and just get it flat. You're going to pinch it. And it's going to be pinched in place. And then you're just going to clip it. Now you're doing your French seam. The idea of a French seam is, I believe everyone knows, but if they don't, is you're hiding those seams so the dress does not come apart. So here, you're going to just pinch. I'm going to push this down because I want that armhole to stay a little looser for the girls. So I'm going to come in like this, and you're going to back tack. And as you're coming down this seam, you should, keyword should, be able to feel where that other seam is on the inside. I'm staying consistent now with a 3/4 of an inch. And I'm coming down the whole side of the dress. And we're going to repeat it over here. My machine. I love my machine. I cut my string too short and she came unthreaded. Okay, so now we've got it. Back to your 3/4. Back tack it in. Joe, do you want to start the giveaway while I'm doing this? I'm a little delayed. French seams, you place the wrong sides together first and sew and flip the right sides together and sew again. This hides the raw edges. Absolutely. See what? The giveaway is now started. Exclamation salty. That's going to run for a little while I'm working. And then when the madness happens, I'll let Joe know when to pull. Now we've got all of that. I just want to make sure I've got all of the strings out of my way. Now we're going to flip it. And as you can see, you're not going to see any raw edges. Everything is hidden. So that's the purpose of the French seam. And thank you for explaining that, Teresa Louise. I have seen some people, and I'll show you, it can be done, but it's not necessary to be done, is where you have your little bump here. You can, but it is not required because this is not going to come undone. You can flip it to the back of the dress or the front of the dress and tack that down as well as a secondary little seam in. I've never had to do that, and I'm trying to decide. I'm going to press it and then we're going to give it a look-see. With this being multiple fabrics together, I may go ahead and I've never did it before, but this might be one of those times to where I just want to make sure this dress is sturdy. I'm telling you what, it looks stinking cute. Let me get all of these little threads, because as I said, these threads, this fabric, seersucker, does shred a lot. It's been an honor and a privilege to sew it, but this is not a fabric that I'm like real fancy for, I'll tell you. So I'm not even going to fool with that. I think it's fine. The seams are pressed down. They're not going to be bothersome to the girls. So I would say that's fine. It's going to stay. So let me pull a couple straps here. So you have your option. You can use bias tape like this, or you can use what the pattern says that we made in the very beginning. I am going to do as the pattern said, because that was the purpose of this video, is to be able to show you how to do this. So let me find my purple thingamajig. Let me move my ruler out of the way. And if you don't have one of these, it really is called that purple thing. I don't remember where I got this. I don't know. I believe a subscriber had sent it to me at some point, and for that I'm thankful and blessed. I did not realize the magnitude of how much I would actually use it. All you do is there's a little hole here, and you feed this through. And you can feed it through as far as you want. You don't need a whole lot of it. You're going to use this end of it And what I do is to get it started, I just tack this back and you feed it right through. There is so many different ways that this works. There's so many different instruments that work better. This serves the need that I have for it, and I really am thankful. Before I got that sent to me, I honestly used a clothespin, not a clothespin, but a this pin right here. And I'm telling you what, it would take me forever to get it in. Now it just lickety split and it goes straight in. So if anyone has any questions on this dress, please ask away. Today is the day you're going to get time that I can answer anything that you need. And you're just going to repeat the same thing here. Front and back's the same. I like to make sure that this is tucked in and it makes it go just a little bit smoother. Some of the patterns call for when you're doing this flip down top to do 3/4 of an inch. I go ahead and go with the full inch. It makes it go in nicer, easier, and when you're making multiple dresses in a day, easier is better, but you're still going to get the same result. I don't believe that little 1/4 of an inch is going to make a big difference. So now you're going to make sure that your ends are the same size. And this is really important here. So the easiest way to do it is pull your straps to where they're equal. And you want to hold on to the dress. And you're going to lay this down. And you're going to make sure this side is the same. Then it's really, really easy. Now we're almost on the home stretch. I've got about 5 1/4 inches on this side. And I've got 8 on this side. You want to make sure that these straps are the same. It's really important because you want them to look really nice. You didn't put all of this work into these dresses for them not to come out looking pretty. The straps look like they're going to be really short, but trust me on this one, they're not. So I will fool with these until I get these at 7. 7 on each. And there we go. So now what I'm going to do is dead center. I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm going to tack it in here. Then I'm going to flip this and I'm going to tack it in here. Let me move all of this goodness out of the way. And what you're doing right here is you're making sure that when these straps are washed or pulled on, that they are not going to be able to come out of the dress. They're going to stay with the dress for the life of the dress. They should not break. They should not even come close to coming undone. So now I've got the first one tacked in. I'm just going to fold it under. That way I'm staying consistent. I'm not pulling it out. And these are going to match. And then we're going to pull that out. Snip it off. And then now the fun begins. So now what you're going to do is take a side and you're just going to start pulling these in. And right here is where I like that one. So I'll put a little clip there. And then I'm going to do the same for the back. I'm just going to start pulling it in. And I've got a couple strings here that I did miss. And like I said, everybody misses strings. Don't worry about it. I'll catch it on my end if you're sending them in. And we're going to do the same thing here. And we're going to do it one more time. And trust me, it does not normally take this long to make a dress. But with machine issues, bobbin issues, I mean, it took me a hot minute. So I don't sew on this side. I sew on the left side of the bias. because I want that to stay there and look pretty. I don't want someone to come up to a little girl and see all those seams. And I want them to be proud of their dresses. So all you're going to do is tack them in, cut all the seams, all these little threads off, like taking a little pair of snips down in there. You want to make sure you get as many off as you can. Pull that tight and tack this one in. And all you're going to do is repeat. Same thing. And snip this all along the way. Now we're going to flip the dress over in its entirety, and we're going to do this side. And then the last little stitch is going in right now. So now all I'm going to do is look the dress over really swell. Make sure that there's no extra strings hanging anywhere. But I'll tell you what, here's the dress. I'm going to lay it down so you can see. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. There you go. She's got a double pocket because I like to do the double pockets. They have the sheer one in the front that they can put their little hands in. And if they have some personal items, they can put it in the back of the pocket. That's why I like to do the double-sided pockets. It's all brought in nice. Everything matches extremely well. The straps, when I'm donating the dresses, I'm not tying them because they're going to have to untie them to slip them on the girls. All I do is just go like this, really simple. And I just pop it up like that. They're going to fix these dresses to the right size for the right girl. So let me see. Jackie, hello, good morning. Sewing Sensations is in the house. Hi, Teresa Louise. I also use Bobkins. I missed half of that conversation, so let me slide back into the chat for just a minute. Always have to remind myself, do it wrong first, then I'll do it right. Absolutely. So let me see. Cat Alley. Yo, Patty G's in the house. Hello and welcome. Beverly Atkins. Hello, Susan. Such a cute dress. I think it turned out darling. I, honest to goodness, had to rely on Jersey Girl and Delia to help me figure out how I was going to join these fabrics. And for that, I'm thankful. We talked this morning. Grandma Tina, hello and welcome. Beautiful. Bravo, Donna. Very nice. I think it turned out much, much better than I had anticipated. I've never used this fabric, but I'm telling you what, it feels pretty cool. I can not see through it because we've put the liner on it, the muslin, and I'm telling you right now, this really did turn out cute. I'm liking it. It's a little heavier than the other dresses, but you're using double the fabric. The outcome, I'm telling you right now, I think it's darling. I think it's really pretty. I think any girl that gets this one will be very lucky. And Miss Jane, I hope that sewing this up, you enjoyed watching your fabric be put to use. And I hope I did it justice to what you wanted and what your vision was. This is the pattern that I like to use, so I wanted to make sure that I was able to use it, and I think it came together really nice. I'm thankful that we did. So I'll set that one over there. That one's ready. I'll let Joe pull his raffle, and we'll see who won. You got a 1-minute warning. If you're not in the raffle, please, please do get in. Let me see which package it is. We're on package 16, and it probably weighs like 2 or 3 pounds. It's quite hefty. I'm trying to feel to see what all's in here. I couldn't tell you. I don't remember. But anyway, this is your package. After the drawing, please, please, please email straight away, because Joe and I need to run to the post office and get out this week's packages. How many yards are used to make one dress? It depends on what size. The dress that I just made took 1.25 yards. And that was a size 6 dress. I always cut up a size, but the way I make it, do you have another video on French seams? The white in the light can't clearly be seen. No, but I can make sure that there is one that will be more clear. I'll use darker fabrics. I have 4 more dresses cut out today, and I'll ask Joe if he'll do a standalone video on just the French seam. Okay, he's going to close the raffle. Quilting Mama. Donnell, you won today, sweetheart. Please email me at Donna@handmadebying.com with your mailing address. And we'll get this out in the mail today. We've got a large haul to take off, and it'll be out probably within the hour when we leave. Thank you, Donna. You're welcome. Yeah, I'm going to make myself a note, because that's something it's challenging to learn, but when you first do it, it doesn't feel right on any level. You've got the right sides, like the inside of your pattern is together, and it just doesn't feel right, but it comes out right every time. Yeah, I made myself a note for that. Linda Faust Quilton, congratulations. Cat Alley, congratulations. Once Joe lets me know that that email did come in, I've got several dresses I need to do today, and I have 2 projects I need to get caught up on, plus we need to do a Walmart run. Life and a post office run. Woohoo. Quilt Mama, thank you. Congratulations, congratulations. So, let me know in the comments here if you like these midday quick lives. Something is always going to be project based. Right now, for the month of September, I can tell you right now, my Tuesdays is going to be devoted to Project Dress a Girl. Realize, please, if you're running late into the video, there is a difference between Project Dress a Girl and Project Dress a Girl around the world. Google them. Go over to Mitered-Jesus. Check her video in the bottom of the description box. You're going to see that there is a difference. 2 separate charities doing great work on behalf of all of these children. So it does make a difference. This Thursday, I'll be live with Little Hooter for Legit Kids. That's going to be a blast. We're going to take it slow and steady all the way through. One of my cohorts will be traveling, so we may end up streamlining or also one of her blocks with her offline before she takes off, because I want her to stay on track with us every step of the way. If you are sewing Project Dress a Girl, please drop a heart in the chat below. One heart. If you like these Tuesday lives, give me 2 hearts. That way we can see if you like them. To me, it just makes sense. I sew all the time, so why not join you? Wrong first, then right when it's French seams. Absolutely. Yep. It took me a long time to get there. I love the midday lives. Absolutely. Jane, I hope you like your dress. I've tagged it. It's ready to go. And I appreciate you entrusting me to make that dress for you. I've got one more cut out, and it'll be made probably later on this afternoon when I get back, Joe, and I've got some running. So the middays are good. Thank you. If you're going to do Little Hooter with us, let me know as well by giving me a, let me see, what emoji? I don't want to do hearts again. Joe said, give us a thumbs up. Let me know if you're doing Little Hooter. If you want to do if you are doing Little Hooter, give me a thumbs up. If you want to come on the live with us while we work the parts of Little Hooter, give me 2 thumbs up. That'll let me know who needs to be invited. If you want to do Little Hooter with us and you need the email link to be able to come on to the Zoom, let me know in the comments below. Donna at handmadebying.com. You need to email me. Joe will send the email. He will send you the Zoom link for that Little Hooter. I know there's several that of my Sew It Seems girls that will be joining me each and every week, and it's going to be fun. The ones that can't join me, Tracy Louise will not be doing it. Pat Strawhouse will be doing it. We're getting the thumbs. Okay. Pat's coming on, Joe. So you have to watch for an email from Miss Pat. Well, the So It Seems group, I'm just going to drop the link. Yeah. But if I see any of our regular subscribers that would like to join, they're going to have to let me know via email or they will not get a link. I won't drop a link during a live. And that's going to take us every bit of 2.5 hours. I may go over 2 o'clock. But if you miss it, it's okay. You've always got the replay. Little Hooter will be done on my channel from beginning to end in breakdown videos. And it's going to be fun. There's 16 blocks. And some weeks we'll be able to do 2 or 3 blocks because they're just a solid one with just flipping the fabric. Or you might have to join a couple pieces. But when we get into the face and we get into the other aspects of it, you're going to want to, you'll understand why. During the week, I'm going to say, go ahead and sew those pieces together because we're going to be joining. See my note above. Let me see. I'm trying. Congrats, Mama. I have no idea. I love the midday lives. Okay. I'm trying to see. I couldn't have imagined how adorable this could have turned out. Absolutely love, love. It's so much, and thank you from my heart. You're welcome. Yeah, if you're not a member of my Sew It Seems online guild group, you need to send me an email. Joe's going to drop the email. If you're one of our subscribers, save the email in your phone so you'll always have it. If you've got a question or want to know what's going on, you can always email us. And we do respond. Maybe Joe might miss it that day, but we will get back with you. Donna, will you post the Zoom link in the Sew It Seems group? Yes. It's going to go in the Sew It Seems group, Miss Pat. Joe will probably create the link today, and it'll go out by tonight. Tomorrow's Wednesday. That's for Thursday. All right, guys, I don't want to keep you till 2, and I know I've got a few people in here. If you have any questions, now's the time to ask, and I'll answer all of your questions. We just need to get to the post office today before that close. That way we can get some of these gifts out, and Joe needs to check for the winner of this gift so that we can go ahead and get it addressed. No, I couldn't see behind my phone to see if anybody had commented. So, with all of that being said, I'm not seeing any questions or anything. We love you to pieces. Thank you for coming to our midday lives. We are going to continue to do this moving forward for quite some time. Project Dress a Girl is all of September for us. Then we're going to segue into breast cancer awareness for the month of October, each and every week. Instead of every day doing a video, what I'm going to do is dedicate one day a week, and it's going to be my Tuesdays, to something for breast cancer awareness, whether it's going to be for our local cancer center, whether it is just talking to you about breast cancer and the importance of. So, thank you. God bless. Take care, and we appreciate you all for coming to our channel and supporting Joe and I. It means the world to us. Please give us a thumbs up, and it'll let YouTube know that you like the content that we are putting out. Awesome live today. Remember, like and share. Bye. Goodbye, everyone. Have a lovely day.